Hi guys, my name is Zarina and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about career in marketing. Please subscribe to my channel and share a like. Today our guest is Marie, and Marie is a marketing professional with over 7 years of working experience in companies that include Cisco Systems, Mode Media, and Zynga. Hi Marie.
Hi, Serena.
Why don't we start with you introducing yourself and telling us what have you been doing at Cisco?
Well, my name is Marie, and I am a marketing professional with over 7 years of experience in marketing strategy and marketing execution. Maybe a little over than 6 years I've spent with Cisco Systems. That was the company that I joined right after graduating UC Berkeley, through recruitment on campus. And my time at Cisco was spent within the global marketing and corporate communications organization, where I held two different roles. One that resembles more of a traditional product marketing management, kind of focusing on a specific product offer or service or a set of products, and working closely with the business units, identifying messaging, positioning, and the go-to-market strategy, and then working on the other side of things, working closely with the channel marketing organization to kind of bring that strategy to life. And later on, I moved on to that, channel, or at Cisco, what was called a go-to-market organization, that dealt primarily with bringing those campaigns to life, integrated marketing campaigns, communication plans, both internal and external.
Let's say for a big organization and for a smaller startup, what are the most essential marketing roles?
So you need to have someone who is responsible for the overall strategy. So that would be your, executive team or executive role, or your, chief marketing officer. And again, keep in mind that you could be, a one-man show doing all those things, right? So, just identifying the strategy of what it is you're trying to achieve and how you want to do it. Then you want to have a brand and communications department. So whether it's corporate communications or just a role or a department within your team that deals with your image, with your public image. So basically your colors, your mission statement, your font, so that your audience easily recognizes you. And then could be a separate piece, or could be bucketed within the same kind of role, the corporate, or any kind of communications when it comes to running your Twitter maybe, or addressing a public issue, or things on that sort, that what public relations deals with, or issuing any kind of statements. Then I would move on to product marketing, or if you have, if it's a service or a solution that you're offering, service marketing. That is basically identifying your positioning within the market, your messaging, how you want to, launch your product, how you want to maintain that positioning, how you, what's your unique value proposition, and kind of balancing it in between the business unit who deals with, targeting certain numbers that you're trying to achieve in terms of sales. And really, the bigger the corporation or the organization, the more cross-functional collaboration is involved. Then marketing intelligence is another role that's important, because things evolve, things move, new competitors enter the market. So it's important to have someone who has their hand on the pulse of that. Channel marketing, I would say, is the the biggest kind of set of roles because there's so many channels, right? And uh, today, most of the channels are digital, especially now with COVID, everything is digital. Um, but your channels can include anything from, email marketing, paid advertising, social media marketing, event marketing. And event marketing in itself could be divided kind of in the in-person events like trade shows, or it could be webinar marketing, webcasts, things like that. Um, and they're depending on the budget again and the size of the organization, there could be a separate function that deals primarily with marketing operations. So that would be someone who focuses on, marketing automation, for example, making sure that all of these processes are, automized, that everything happens within budget and on time. So that would, I say, kind of sum it up.
That's a lot of marketing, a lot of marketing departments in the organizations. What would you say would be the, since our channel is dedicated to people who are looking for a job and who are or maybe changing their profession, what would be the lowest entry barrier into marketing in terms of these roles? Like something that you can learn very quickly and go start working.
Well, I think the quickest way would be to get into channel marketing, and that, kind of focusing on one channel at a time. So say email marketing or social media marketing, paid advertisement, search engine optimization. So really becoming an expert in a very niche kind of area of marketing. And I'd say one of the greatest ways would be to become familiar with one of the modern marketing tools or marketing technologies. For example, Marketo or Salesforce Marketing Cloud or Pardot or something like that. There, a quick Google search will show you the most desirable marketing skills. So it's an easy search. Also, when you're looking for a job, usually the job description will tell you what the employer is looking for. And another piece to it, I believe that the easier way to get in would be to become a contractor, and then kind of work your way into a full-time position if you so desire. I know a lot of people who enjoy being a contractor, who enjoy kind of, jumping from company to company and, get an experience that way. Totally depends on your objectives, your kind of set of values, your needs and wants. But when it comes to, getting specialized in a certain tool, pick a tool and then go on the website of that tool. Look for any, start with free, start with just kind of familiar, getting familiar with what the tool is all about, why and how companies use it, what are alternatives to that tool. So, all that would be a great start.
So this is super technical, but what for, how about people who are not super analytical or technical? What can you suggest, something that is also in every company is needed, but not so deep dive into numbers and spreadsheets?
I think for any marketer on any job search result, you would see that great communication skills are required. And by that, what is meant is a lot, basically. Verbal communication skills, written communication skills. You need to have, a solid command of your English. You need to kind of feel the language. You need to have great communication skills when it comes to, interpersonal communication and collaboration, for a number of reasons why. And great communication skills help in any role, be you, a technical professional or not. When it also comes to, communication skills for marketers, specifically, copywriting, I think would be, a great skill to have. And copywriting is writing specifically for your audience in mind. Basically knowing how to translate features into benefits, and keeping that audience, your end customer in mind, of what kind of challenge you're trying to solve for them, what their care about is. A great example would be, an iPod, or for example, an iPod selling a feature of an extra gigabyte of data, but the customer is not worried about that specifically. What the customer wants to know, what you're able to do with that data. So you as a marketer package it in a way that you get to have an extra 1,000 songs in your pocket, or an extra 1,000 pictures, something on that sort.
What is your favorite, let's say, part of the marketing? Because marketing is huge. It has a lot of departments. Like you mentioned, automation, field marketing, digital marketing. What's your favorite? What drives you? Is it numbers? Is it creativity?
I say I like seeing the big picture. So I like the integrated marketing, basically the roles, the opportunity to kind of see the big picture and how all these pieces fit together, understanding the business. So you're not just focusing on a channel and just executing your campaign, driving these numbers through the funnel, but you actually understand what these numbers mean and what's behind your strategy, why you're doing what you're doing.
Which is probably management rather than just being a specialist.
It's definitely more on kind of a strategy side, but even within the strategy, there's a hierarchy of organizational structure, right? You could be a chief marketing officer, or you could be in creating an integrated marketing campaign for a certain line of business. And well, I think it's kind of important to also know the definition of a campaign, or what it is, which is basically, kind of an orchestrated and structured effort to, generate awareness and help with consideration of your offer, and then kind of moving your prospects to the next step of that journey. And that orchestrated, that structured effort of bringing everything together, making sure that your message is consistent, regardless of how your potential audience discovered you. So I think that's kind of what drives me the most.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. There isn't one question which is from the audience, and I know we have gone through it, but I'm just going to read it out loud. As we all go through a global pandemic, what are the main challenges are you experiencing right now, and how are you adjusting your marketing strategy based on that? So I guess the person is asking about Cisco's adaptation of the strategy during the pandemic.
It's a $1 million question for everyone right now. The biggest challenge is uncertainty for everyone on every level, right? The challenge for larger corporations lies in the fact that oftentimes budgets are committed ahead of time, and marketing strategy is kind of outlined ahead of time as well. For example, for a launch or for a big campaign, you start planning at least 6 months in advance. And you can imagine how how much of everything goes into it. Human resources, money, agency involvement, things like that. So being able to pivot your messaging, your strategy, your execution is a pain point for a lot of company, but especially for larger companies. At Cisco specifically, the communications team and kind of the response team is amazing. It's a separate kind of department of the overall marketing and communications organization, but they're amazing at addressing these concerns and making sure that the public um, is confident in the company's ability to perform. Also with B2B companies, the sales cycles, the tech cycles are well, they're different. Basically, it's more about relationship building rather than a quick sale, a quick turnaround. And you have these relationships that have been built through years. And people also understand that these times of uncertainty in the economy, they're cyclical, and things will get back to normal eventually. So kind of knowing that, and also that you're selling your product or service in mind with, that it's a subscription service, you may want to, somewhat adjust your, pricing strategy or things on that sort. But that's not speaking on behalf of Cisco at all. That's just, kind of, it will be different for every organization, basically. For marketing, that would be taking directions from the business, and, adjusting the marketing message. When it comes to B2C companies, you can see, again, as on a consumer level, you see how companies were able to really quickly adjust and pivot their marketing campaigns, their messaging, to address the current needs of people who are staying at home. So all the messages are in line with, how can we get you more comfortable to stay at home? Be it, purchase more loungewear, or, get better delivery services.
When I was speaking to Marie mentioned that every person who is working currently should be still interviewing even though he is employed. Marie, can you please elaborate on that? Why do you think so?
I've discovered that too late, I'd say, but better late than never. So I think that you just never know. And even if you absolutely love your job, from, a variety of angles, it's good to just know what's out there. Say you love chocolate ice cream, but maybe you've never tried any other ice cream before. It's kind of, a consumer level analogy, but you get the point. Even if you think that your company is giving you great benefits and you love the people, there may be something better for you out there. And the second reason why I think that it's important to understand your gaps, the gaps in your knowledge. And when you interview, you see what other companies are doing, maybe more innovative companies. Small, it's, if you are with a bigger company, it's worth interviewing with startups who are maybe more, well, not maybe, who are nimbler, and they're able to, readjust their strategies, move quicker, enable more innovative, decision making when it comes, and quicker decision making, as compared to larger global corporations where, things tend to move a little slower, just because of the size and kind of the global nature of the organization. So that way, maybe what you need to, study, or, new tools that are coming out. Because with marketing, especially digital marketing, new tools are coming out very often. Marketing changes, social media trends change so much. And, you'll have a chance to strengthen these skills, or maybe gain new skills. When it comes to, interviewing itself, that is a skill as well. And say one day you will have to interview, say if you know lose your job for one reason or another, and that way you've already practiced your interviewing skills. Interviewing full time is like a full time job. You need to research companies, you need to tailor your resume, you need to tailor your answers for every position, every company, because companies also want to know why you want to work for them. um, More often than not, companies are looking for a cultural fit, so you need to be able to tell why their culture is the culture that resonates with you. So it takes time. And when you have some of your answers kind of canned and prepared, they start just coming out of your mouth, and it gets better with time.
How often do you think a person should change her jobs? Like she was working at a company X, like this amount of years, now it's time to move on to a different company.
Um, I've been with Cisco for over 6 years, so I'm probably not the best person to answer this question. Um, it depends on so many factors. It depends on how comfortable are you in, you know, switching jobs often, getting acclimated in a new environment, getting to know new people, just changing your whole processes and just dealing with change, because that's a lot. That depends on whether or not you see opportunities for you at your current company. um, are you able to do you know your growth plan? Are you satisfied with your manager? Does your manager have your interest in mind in terms of growing you? Do you see opportunities to move laterally? So maybe it's a huge company and you have a chance to try yourself in a different department. So looking at all of these opportunities and kind of assessing what's needed for you personally is, to me, you know, is more important than some kind of a formula, change a job every 2 years or so.
Yeah, I've spoken once with a person who was changing jobs every 2 years, and he says that it's great for growth, for salary, and for networking as well, because he is working with so many people and now he knows a lot of people, especially in tech.
Right. Well, again, it depends on your personality, your level of being comfortable with, you know, being around people, getting yourself out there, because interviewing is stressful, and getting to know new people, kind of reestablishing yourself over and over again is stressful too. And it's also a skill. Do you want to, grow that skill? Is it not something that's important to you? But what you said about the salary increase is likely true. So that's another reason why you should interview, so you know your worth in the market. Uh, because you're being offered, when you're being offered a job offer, you see a number there, and you see what your skills are being valued at.
um, okay, so let's talk about the interviewing processes. So you have been interviewing a lot in order to know your worth. What types of questions are the most common that were asked by hiring managers, a marketer, a person who was working in B2B marketing?
Okay. Marketing interviews are mostly behavioral questions to a larger degree. There are not a lot of technical questions unless you're interviewing specifically for, to say your day to day will be just running an email marketing campaigns. Then you may get asked, define what's, you know, uh, email KPIs or something like that. But basically, it all starts with tell me about yourself, walk me through your resume. And one tip, you need to have a positioning statement. Same as a marketer, marketing a product, a service, a solution, you need to have your own positioning statement, it's kind of like your elevator pitch for yourself. In a couple sentences, you need to be able to say who you are, what you want, and why you want it, and why you're great. What's unique about you. Then whatever is on your resume, you must be able to talk to any of those points. So that, a resume is, there's only so much you can write there. And an interview is a chance for you to really, shine light on your projects and what's behind those numbers, how it actually happened. Because yes, employers want to see the results and the numbers, the percentages, the analytics, whatever quantitative stuff you can put on your resume, but it's only a part of the story. So you need to be able to tell that story, because what goes into it, it's 99% of the times it was a teamwork. You did not do it alone. So how did you work with your team? Were you able to exceed the goal? Were you able to, do this with a tight budget, or ahead of time, within the timeline? If you didn't do it within the timeline, for example, what happened and what lesson you learned? So you need to be able to tell those stories. So there is a framework that is called STAR: situation, task, action, result. And you use that framework to answer your question that goes something like, tell me about a time where you led a campaign. Tell me how you, managed a program. And you set the stage, you say what your specific task was, what action you took, and what was the result of your action. So that's kind of the formula. Another piece of advice, when companies ask you, so why are you looking right now? What's your current situation? And they may or may not ask you that. I advise that you have an exit statement. Again, something that states in a sentence or two why you left the company, even if you were, hopefully you were not fired, but even if you were laid off, with COVID and with everything that's going on in the world, it's unlikely that you will be even asked as to why this happened. But people in the industry know that large corporations have these, layoff cycles. So it's nothing against you specifically, but still to kind of remove this stigma that, the company got rid of you, basically. This is the only time during the interview process where you want to group yourself with as many people as possible. So that's where you say, due to the recent restructuring, or due to the recent, in the events in the world, the company had to make a decision to reorganize, and 500 positions were impacted globally, including mine. So you don't even say I got laid off. So it's, again, you're not lying. It's always best to tell the truth. When you don't know something, it's always best to say, I don't know. Unfortunately, this is not something I had experience with, but I am more than willing to learn. I'm a quick learner, blah, 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 blah. So always turn it as an advantage to yourself.
There is another question from the audience, and the question sounds like, does the section about personal interests needed in the resume, and if it helps to get shortlisted?
I have that section. I'm listing my personal interests. I don't know if it helps to get shortlisted, but it could be a conversation starter because you never know. Maybe a hiring manager is um, an avid skier and you happen to be into skiing and you can bond over this. Because in the end, companies are hiring people with whom they will need to work every day. So you want to work with someone who you like. And a lot of the skills, especially technical skills, you can get trained if you are the right cultural fit, if you have the right, just overall kind of people skills that they're looking for. With mentioning your personal interest, I think it's important to not just say, oh, I love eating or I love going out because everyone loves to do that. If you think that's something unique, and if you can throw in something like, I've been playing guitar for 20 years and I give free performances or free lessons to elementary school children, I don't know, something like that. Again, to make this a story and to show that it's not just you playing guitar in your spare time in your backyard, which is amazing, don't get me wrong, but that you're able to do something with your skills, to go that extra mile, show that you are a part of a club. You're not a fitness club maybe, but if that club is prestigious and it's hard to get in there, but you were able because of your skill. So I think that could tell something.
Mm-hmm. So basically just mentioning your interest, but at the same time highlighting your strong character, right? Your strong points. For example, if you are playing a guitar and then you're teaching kids, which means that you are kind of like mentoring. It's mentorship.
Right. It's a leadership.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. That's a good tip. So in the end of our conversation, we always have this question, which I ask, if you can share something with our viewers who are looking for a marketing positions right now and applying to jobs in tech. Can you share something of a value, like maybe a list of books or a template that you've created long time ago and use it for marketing, whatever, something?
As a mother of a toddler, the books on my shelf are a very hungry caterpillar. So I'm not sure how that's going to help you. I think, I don't know if I have a tool. I can go through my toolbox, and if there's something that I think is worth sharing, I'll send it over. But I think it's important to read a lot, because reading helps you with your vocabulary, not necessarily marketing stuff, but just reading in general. If you are looking for a very specific uh, content area, like say you really want to work in network security, like, as would be an example for this particular job description, become an expert in this field. Make sure when you're interviewing, you show all of your knowledge, all of your value, and read the news. Show that you're passionate about the industry. A great resource that I always go back to, I just absolutely love the HubSpot blog. There's always so much, and I feel like I can always go back to it. There's always new content, and they feature a lot of free resources, like those templates and infographics. Yeah, so go check out their blog. I think it's great.
How easy was it for you to master HubSpot?
I wouldn't say that I mastered it. It's not a tool that I work in every day, but even with something that you work with every day, new features always come out, and there's always something to learn. That's what I also love about marketing, is that, it's never, a done deal. You can keep growing your knowledge about a specific tool if you choose that route to be, you can become known in the industry. So like, Zarina is the most amazing professional when it comes to HubSpot marketing. Let's hire her. And, you'll be a sought after professional. Don't get discouraged now when the things are crazy in the world, because companies are still hiring. I see, get alerts, sign up to all the job boards, turn on that thingy on your LinkedIn profile that you are available for positions. Pretty up your LinkedIn profile with keywords and things like that, so that recruiters will start reaching out to you. And just start somewhere. There are companies that won big with this whole thing. Zoom, one of them, right? Zoom is hiring a lot, by the way. So there will always be companies that need help. If you have the luxury of time to just learn something on a side, like say you are in a technical position, but you really want to move to marketing, or you're doing something non-marketing, and you are still being paid and you have the time, maybe now when the economy is down is the time to, get those extra skills. LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, plenty of free resources on YouTube.
Those are all great advices. Thank you so much. And I want to thank you for joining.
I know, I wish I could be just handing out jobs, but
I know.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me a chance to share what I know. And there is so much more that I don't know. So happy to connect with, whoever feels like they want to connect for whatever reason after watching this video. Always open to, expanding the network and just chat about marketing or, new opportunities.